All right, well, fewer Americans are moving these days. New Bank of America Institute data shows relocations to different cities or states have dropped 11% over the past 2 years.
And when people do move, they're often staying much closer to home.
All right, I want to bring in our chief business correspondent, Taylor Young. Taylor, why do Americans seem to be staying put?
Yeah, I think the biggest reason is housing. So millions of Americans locked in. Remember that 3% mortgage interest rate during the pandemic.
So long ago.
Yeah, that really prompted a lot of people to up and move or to be able to move, right? Today, I mean, interest rates are nearing 7%. So even if people wanted to move, it could potentially double their monthly mortgage, right? And that's a big no-no for a lot of people. And this is creating what economists are calling the lock-in effect. But I think there's a couple of other things going on too. As we mentioned, I mean, the great migration during the pandemic, right? A lot of people up and moved across states, across the country. And I think a lot of people are kind of settling in. Another one is remote jobs are also kind of dwindling. So there's just less opportunities to kind of be able to move wherever you want to.
All right, so what does this mean for North Carolina? Is it an outlier given the number of people who continue to move?
Yeah, North Carolina is absolutely a standout here. So even though overall fewer people are moving, North Carolina continues to attract people. So according to the Census Bureau, the state has grew nearly 150,000 people just last year, making it the third largest population growth behind Florida and Texas. In Charlotte and Raleigh continue to just be those hubs that really continue to attract people. I think a big part of it is just job opportunities and lower costs of living, especially when you're considering West Coast hubs or Northeast cities, right? Just a lot cheaper. And I think people are willing to move. It just has to make financial sense, maybe a higher paying job that offsets that higher mortgage rate.
Yeah.
Does the national slowdown have any impact on this at all?
I think it could have an impact on the economy, right? This is not just a housing or relocation story because traditionally, I mean, America is known as, the economic superpower is that people can up and move and relocate, right? And a big part of that is that people have been moving where jobs are. So I think if fewer people start to relocate, I mean, this is kind of like worst case scenario, but that could result in labor shortages or companies having a harder time filling positions. And I think one thing that we are seeing actually happen from this is that it's keeping housing inventory tight. When less people are moving out of their homes, right? They're staying in their home with that locked in 3% mortgage. Why would they leave? So yeah, this is not just a housing story. I think this is also an economic one too.
All right, Taylor, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.